the tush push, that one feels like that one's going to get overturned. That one feels like it's going to get banned. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I am a proponent of that getting banned, but I believe the tush push, that one feels like it's on its way out. And you already heard it being chatted about in a couple of these reports. Pro Football Talk's talking about it. Schefter's talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it, how people in the competition committee, I guess it got a little bit tense in there. I guess there were some people that weren't necessarily thrilled with the thought of banning this entire thing, especially because one team's better at it than all of the other teams. But they did mention the precedent of the special teams pushing from the tight end or from the linebackers on the D tackles for field goal blocks. It just feels like everybody doesn't want to say publicly that they want it to be gone because they're all football guys and somebody's innovative. And I forget who said it. Somebody said it this morning in their meeting about like maybe Bean. I don't know. Anytime somebody creates a play, or Sean McDermott, anytime somebody's innovative with the sport, you never want to punish them for it. But it does feel as if there is a lingering kind of, it feels like they're going to get rid of this particular play. Tone, is that an accurate reading from what you're getting? And how many of these do you think actually get passed at this owners' meetings down here?
Yeah, I feel like that's an accurate reading from everything that's coming out. Obviously, you're starting to get the inside.
Not saying it should be.
Correct.
Not saying it should be.
Correct.
I'm just saying, like, feels like everybody that's in the room where it happens is like, I don't want to say this publicly because I'm a football guy, but also, come on. We got 900 pounds worth of dudes pushing people like this. One team's able to do it. Nobody else is able to do it. And then the Eagles are like, so that's on us.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I'm not saying that it should be banned. I'm just saying it feels like there is a ground support, a swell happening behind the scenes, like an underground type of convo about not wanting it in the game. Feels like it, just from reading from the outside in. I'm in London, but that's just reading the tea leaves and the crumpets, if you will.
No, I think you are reading the tea leaves and the crumpets very well because, the insiders are now coming out and reporting that there's a groundswell for this to be banned. And once that starts happening, it feels like that's normally something that does happen, like, because if they're getting that info from somewhere, and I would assume it's the league, and once that info starts coming out and they get those votes that they want, you can assume that the tush push is potentially no more. The other rules that I think are probably going to get passed, the regular season overtime matching the playoff overtime, that just makes sense. Like we talked about that. There's no reason for those not to match. The moving the kickoff touchback to the 35, that also feels like there's a groundswell because going from, as we talked about, the 25 to the 30 wasn't a big enough penalty for the touchback in that situation. More replay assist, that makes sense. I mean, there's no reason not. We've talked about it many, many times. If we can just have the replay assistant, voice down and say, hey, you had it wrong. Let's just move it to here, move it to there. That seems like it. The two that are, I don't see the defensive holding and illegal contact not resulting in a first down. Like that's, because we know these DBs,
Yep.
3rd and 15, they're just going to tackle guys. There's no reason not to. I don't see that one getting past it. But the most interesting one, I think, that is up in there is the wild card seeding, whether, a 14-3 Minnesota Vikings would have to travel to L.A. if that game was in L.A. in that situation. Like, is that going to happen where the higher seeded or the better win percentage team will have to go to the division winner as an away game? That one is interesting. I got no idea if that one's going to pass or not. I don't even have a feeling on that one.
D-Butts, Tone brings up a good point there about defensive holding and illegal contact. You guys will game the shit out of that one, so that's going to feel tough to change. But also, wild card seeding, with how successful the playoffs have been thus far, I don't see them touching it. Okay, so my Hembo stats say that the Eagles, since 2022, are 108 of 124. Whenever it comes to tush pushes, which is 87% of the time. Now, it used to be above 90. I think it was 92%. That's why the New Height podcast is 92%ers, because that was when Jason Kelsey was in there. Obviously, he's a masterpiece of it all. I am reading the tea and crumpet leaves from afar here in London. It feels as if there is a little bit of a groundswell from NFL people to ban this play. Is that accurate? But nobody wants to come out publicly and say it because they all want to be known as football guys.
Well, some of the Packers people have come out publicly. Brian Gutekunst just did media. I talked to him afterward. He has come out publicly and said, essentially, this is, first of all, let me say this. I don't know that it's getting banned, but I do feel kind of like you're saying, the groundswell of maybe rewriting it. So, like, is it going to go away? I don't know, but rewriting it would make some sense. And I think what they're nervous about is, like, the NFL officials have said very publicly, there's not enough injury data to see if it's something that, like, long-term could be a play that's sort of like an injury-filled play. But what they're nervous about is some catastrophic injury to, like, an offensive lineman. I think the center is probably most at risk. And then you react and say, then ban it. So I think they're trying to get ahead of it and say, how can we make it just a little bit safer eliminated? I don't know, but I do feel the groundswell of like, let's try to make this a little bit safer before anything really
What's that
bad.
mean? Like one pusher? Like, what does that mean?
Maybe, or I'm not 100% sure. I mean, one pusher might make sense, or maybe one push. Like maybe that would be a way to do it. Like
Wait, you
I
have to
just
stop halfway through?
That'll be easy
just
to
one,
judge.
Just one thrust?
just one
thrust,
push,
Ian?
one thrust. Sometimes
Yeah, I
one
mean, no
thrust is
problem.
all you need.
That's all
guys.
they need.
True.
In
Well,
football.
Rap, we know that is all you got too. But like, whenever you
In
think about
football. In football.
oh yeah. But whenever you're talking about officiating this, we're putting more judgment calls now into the refs' hands. I don't know if that's good play. I know. This is the challenge, them starting to mention the precedent of the field goal block team not being able to push years ago, and then now it feels like there's a chance this thing gets banned. Who knows? But that tush push thing, it feels like it's over.
Yeah.
It does. And maybe they'll delay till May to do that, but it feels like, I don't know,
The
more
injury
people coming
concern
out
is
against
hilarious.
it.
I think they don't really have any data to back it up or whatever, but saying the potential injury risk from this play. But defenders, correct me, Pat, if I'm a linebacker, I can push my D lineman, right, on this play?
I don't know. Yeah, is it just a special teams play you're not allowed to? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, if I'm a defender, I should be able to push my D lineman.
Yeah.
If you can push your quarterback, obviously in this play, I understand that the extra point and field goal is different, but you're right. This feels like it is going to get taken away. I don't think it should. I don't know. I mean, just figure it out. Find a way to stop it. Figure a way out to run it on offense.
Change it just to one guy being able to push. Like
Maybe.
I know because that's what some of the teams do. Like I know that's what the Packers did with Jordan Love. That's what Josh Allen and the Bills do. Like they could easily keep it around, or if they just say you have to have some sort of, I don't know, like a declaration that you can't run them or you can't throw the ball, because that's another thing with the tush push is like, hey, they might
Fake tush push,
they might
Tebow
fake
pass.
it and throw it. Like if it's something like that, I don't know. But I would rather see it stay in the game than just completely ban it.
It's innovation. You can't punish innovation.
I was talking to, there's a lot of Eagles fans that work for the WWE. So this morning when I get to the arena here and I'm sitting down, all of them just right on over. NFL's trying to screw Philadelphia Eagles. And I said, what's that? You guys are Super Bowl champs. What do you mean? You go banning tush push because we're barring everybody? Is that what we're banning tush? I thought football was supposed to be tough. I thought you guys were supposed to be tough. That's how these Eagles fans
They got a point.
literally.
Yeah,
Great point.
They have a point.
Yeah, this is just in the wrestling world. I assume in the rest of the world as well, Eagles fans are feeling the same way. So we're tougher than you, and you guys want to stop that? Okay. And then your thought about the thought of potential injury. That's a hilarious argument. Yeah, but when you watch it, you can see.
Their heads are down. We could have a neck injury. Yeah. Why don't you watch any play that ever happens ever in the NFL, and there's potential injury risk everywhere you look. It doesn't matter.
I think another big topic of conversation here is they're paying Jalen Hurts $50 million a year, 51, I think. Jalen Hurts could easily be a quarterback that says, "I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
No way."
Right.
Like, there's a lot of very rich quarterbacks that would never do this, never allow this to happen, because I mean they're potentially setting themselves up to literally get anti-ant. Like, that is the chance. Like, quarterback sneaks are always going to be tough on the quarterback, but let alone whenever there's 600 pounds of pressure being pushed off your ass cheeks while everybody else is doing the opposite. Like, Jalen Hurts saying, "I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it." Now, granted, their offensive line also saying they're cool with it is a whole thing. But like, I think that's something that not every quarterback's willing to be cool with either.
Yeah, not every quarterback is squatting 900 pounds, and when Jalen Hurts retire, he'll probably have 90 rushing touchdowns to go on his resume. And obviously, it helps the team win too. And obviously, Jalen Hurts.
How do you stop it, D-Butt? For real, how do I stop it?
We've seen enough to. You can't. It's one of those things you just can't stop with the Eagles, and that's their argument. Like, okay, everybody has the same rules. Like, Jalen Hurts isn't the only big, strong quarterback in the league. This isn't the only big physical offensive line in the league. Everyone has the same rules. The Buffalo Bills, they were great at it with Josh Allen for most of the season. I think the Chiefs were probably the only team that consistently.
How do the Bills do it? How do the Bills do it? Because there was people calling like just regular quarterback sneaks tush pushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And I think there was people confused about which push was being pushed. Like, I think people thought like offensive linemen's pushes getting pushed by the quarterback is a push. It's like, no, the push that's being pushed, that's currently being talked about, is the quarterback's push getting pushed by a couple different hands of guys that have big pushes. So then it's a big old push on one push that's going into other pushes. I think that is something that also is kind of hard to, like, a regular quarterback sneak is not a tush push.
No.
You know?
Yeah,
Did
they go
Josh?
left guard.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did it with one guy.
Josh did it.
With one.
Yeah.
And they usually try to find like one of the guards. They typically go over the guards. Like Hurts can go over a guard, but a lot of time he was going right over that center. I feel like Josh Allen goes over a guard more, and like you can see right here, it's usually one guy pushing him. But that's a big, strong son of a bitch at quarterback. I think it definitely starts there. And to your point, some quarterbacks, Mahomes hasn't done a quarterback sneak in, like 2-3 years now. So a certain quarterbacks who just isn't going to do or aren't going to do it at all. Tom Brady, he was the best quarterback sneaker of his generation, multiple generations that he played. So because he was innovative and found a way to just, once he saw the gap and got up, he can do it for 2-3 yards at times. So it's going to be interesting to see how this really unfolds. But I think the Eagles fans and the Eagles team, more importantly, has an argument where it shouldn't be banned.